Scripted Reader with another video, and of course I have to I have to react to this. Star Wars Theory, Star Wars Explained tries to demonetize Star Wars Theory, and Star Wars Theory gives his response, and also gives quite a bit of insight just into the mentality of a lot of these people. And I mean, the guy's been whatever at the top of the mountain, I guess you could say, for quite a few years, and has been on YouTube for what, like 8 or 10 years, something like that. So he knows a lot of these people, and he knows a lot about just how everything works, and whether you're talking about YouTube itself and making videos, or you're just talking about how these people are and stuff at these events, whatever it is, the Comic Cons or whatever, these events that they go to or get invited to or whatever. And Star Wars Explained has been pretty insane lately. I did a video on this, you guys know that, and trying to get a bunch of people demonetized because they say things that criticize Star Wars and stuff, and I guess they don't like that or whatever. I don't know. I kind of suspect, and I said this in my other video too, that like I think they're kind of maybe being kind of pushed to do something like this stupid letter they wrote to YouTube to try and get a few guys demonetized. What was it? It was Geeks and Gamers, Ryan Kinnell, and it was RK Outpost and Nerdrotic. And I don't know, a part of me thinks somebody above them, like somebody, whether it was from Disney or something, kind of prompted them to do this, because it's kind of out of nowhere, and I don't know, I don't get it. I don't get why now all of a sudden, like, Nerdrotics is spending the vast majority of his time right now talking about Lord of the Rings, or Rings of Power, Rings of Golden Showers. So I don't understand why this is the timing of this. It's kind of weird. I guess it's post-Acolyte, and yeah, you know, those channels ripped the Acolyte a new one just like everybody did, but it's just weird. Anyway, so let's get into this. So Star Wars Theory has a lot of interesting stuff to say, so let's check it out. I'm not gonna go through the entire video, but I do want to go through a few things.
Welcome to another video. This is one I didn't want to make, I didn't think I would have to make, but at this point I've kind of had enough. And we're going to go into a lot of detail here with fellow Star Wars YouTubers, Star Wars Explained, a few others. Just shitty to me in general. I'm going to tell you guys about my experience, these people who are leading a campaign, an organized hate campaign for years against me, and now I see that they've lumped me in with some of my colleagues and friends online to have our channels demonetized, and essentially sending a letter to YouTube to abolish, destroy, end the channels. You know, this was written by Molly Dame.
I also wanted to say too, let me go back here just a sec. So I don't follow Star Wars Explained. Like I don't follow them. I've been blocked by a bunch of people that they're associated with. I don't even know. I've never even interacted with them. I've interacted with a couple of them, I guess. I interacted with Kyle Katurn once, and then that was it. And so the only reason I even found out about this was because of Star Wars Girl. So shout out to Star Wars Girl for posting it, because that's how I saw it.
This was written by Molly Damon. She is the wife and co-partner of Star Wars Explained, of Alex Damon.
That's the other thing. I didn't know. I thought she was kind of the person running the show on that. I didn't know that it was actually her husband, Alex. I thought it was the other way around. I saw that photo of him on a leash, and he was dressed like Slave Leia and on the ground, and she has a leash holding him. I guess that just subconsciously made me think she was the one running the channel, but I guess it's Alex. Okay.
I've met Star Wars Explained in person several times. I've met his wife, Molly, several times. Let's get to it, you know. No name-calling, no anger, no nothing, just judging things very objectively.
This is where the fun begins.
Enough is enough. The Star Wars fandom demands that YouTube enforce its community guidelines against prolonged insults and incitement of targeted harassment towards women of color by demonetizing YouTube channels Geeks and Gamers, Ryan Kinnell, RK Outpost, and Nerdrotic. Many of the comments found in Geeks and Gamers videos can be seen in hateful comments under trans now deleted Instagram posts. Okay, so in court, if this were to go to court, they would have to prove that it was indeed all of Geeks and Gamers' posts that motivated a ton of people to throw hate and vitriol, and to get that kind of information is going to be pretty difficult, because it's not like Geeks and Gamers was the only channel that was saying that Rose Tico was a horrible character. There were just a lot of people that just weren't happy when they were like, man, that movie sucked.
I saved you.
And I talked about that in my video responding to this stupid manifesto as well. Like, there was a lot of potential for Rose to be a really cool character. She's supposed to be this really, really top mechanic. That's what she's supposed to be. I guess that's her character sort of description. And they didn't do anything with that. Like, that's something you could do something with in the Star Wars universe, Like, she could have done something really amazing and had a really cool character in relation to her being a really high-end mechanic, like, but they just didn't do that. They just kind of just left it. It was really, really weird.
Not fighting what we hate. Saving what we love.
RK Outpost has recently referred to Ingram's Kenobi character Reva as dumb and retarded. Okay, again, there's no issue there. You can call a character whatever you want. I mean, it's a fictitious character. That's his opinion of the character.
Yeah, and she sucked.
Fictional character that was written. These channels
Reva took so much screen time in an Obi-Wan Kenobi show. In fact, if you really look at the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, it was really about Leia and Reva. That was essentially the story. He was there, and they did have the Vader stuff, but none of it means anything because their fight in the original Star Wars is what leads to something happening, which is Obi-Wan, dying. So even though there was like a Vader versus Obi-Wan couple of fights, neither of them meant anything. So the show essentially was about Reva and Leia. The Obi-Wan Kenobi show. That's a fact. And Reva's character sucked. And how did she get stabbed twice and live? Like what were they thinking when they did that? I'll never understand.
By claiming she's playing the victim card. Okay, but that's their opinion. They can say that. They don't have to agree with her. With RK Outpost proclaiming, "You've never been oppressed in your goddamn life, you bitch." I mean, shit. Seems like they got a problem with Ryan. I mean, Ryan's angsty, bro. There's a lot of shit that Ryan says that I don't agree with. I think it's a little over the top. But to be honest, you get Ryan drunk and he's like this soft, sweet little guy.
Ryan is a pussy compared to most older American men. Well, one, I'm sure you're very experienced with older American men, Kev, because I imagine they f*** you in the...
Hey.
Yeah, see, like... And I agree with Theory here. Like, sometimes Kinnell's language is really inflammatory. I don't do that. Like, I personally don't talk like that. And I got kids and everything else, and I'm gonna have to bleep out some of this. Even Theory, he swears way more than me. Like, I don't swear really because I don't want my kids like listening to that. But Ryan definitely uses inflammatory language, but again, he's allowed. He's a free country. He can swear and he can say inflammatory things, and it's, you know what I mean? Like, you can't demonetize the guy for saying things you don't like. That's not how it works.
Hate campaign against Amandla has been so profitable that other major YouTubers have joined the attacks on Amandla, including Star Wars Theory, 3.3 million subscribers, 3.33 million! Some respect, please, Molly. How many more good faith content creators will turn to profitable hate campaigns if this behavior is permitted to continue with no repercussions? Now, look, I probably would have commented on this in a tweet or something. Yet the fact that you put my name in this is so unbelievably effed up, man. Like, first of all, you have to prove that this is a hate campaign. The only...
I think it's funny, like, it's almost like she threw in Theory's name just to, like, get clout, because, like, and don't get me wrong, like, I've done a couple videos on Theory, over the past couple years. I think 2 or 1, something like that. One of them was that he was being accused of being anti-woman, and so I thought that was pretty stupid, so I did a video on that. But, I mean, he's the biggest Star Wars YouTuber, so, you're gonna talk about it. I'm doing a video right now talking about him, but I think she just threw his name in there just to try and cloud up this article, because in reality, he's pretty tame. Like, I don't, like, if you're, compared to RK or, like, some of these other guys, he doesn't really get super emotional or anything. He just kind of says, he just talks, like, and he doesn't name call really much at all, if at all. I don't know. I don't watch every video the guy's ever put out, but I've watched enough of them to know that, like, he's not like that type of guy. So I think she just threw his name on here to try and garner, like, credibility maybe or something. But it's stupid. It's so stupid.
Hate campaign I see here are you people that have been constantly throwing hate. The boys can defend themselves, and they want to go to court for that. They can do that. They can destroy these people. No problem. I fully believe that. The only hate campaign I see here is the hate campaign that Molly Damon, Star Wars Explained, and a lot of these other Star Wars YouTubers have been leading against me for years. How many more good faith?
For years. Really? What? And that's what I was talking about earlier. I guess he's got some stuff to talk about with these guys. Wow, okay. Again, I don't watch Star Wars Explained. I honestly have probably watched a portion of one of their videos once. I don't watch a lot of the shill channels. I know they exist, and I do see their tweets, and sometimes I'll interact very minimally with them on Twitter, because I don't really want to, like, just hear about how great it all is when it sucks.
Content creators will turn to profitable hate campaigns. It's all about money. Molly Damon and Star Wars Explained, in my opinion, are obsessed with money. Here we go. Let me take you back to the very beginning. All right, October 6th, 2016, 5:55 a.m. My name is...
Okay, so he's pulling out, like, receipts here. What the heck is going on?
Alex from over at Star Wars Explained. I wanted to just say hey and introduce myself. You're growing insanely fast.
Here, let me turn up the quality, because you probably can't even see. I'm using a hotspot right now, so I have it on 480, but we'll bump it up for you here so you can actually see what the heck it says.
Congratulations. You're going to have that silver button in no time. If you ever want to talk Star Wars or YouTube, please feel free to email me. I've got a dialogue going between pretty much all other Star Wars YouTubers. And while some are more friendly and open than others, we've all been pretty cool about sharing advice, collaborating. I actually do have a question for you. You kind of popped up on my radar because I saw this ad.
Dude, this reeks of him, like, trying to get Theory to prop him up. That's what it looks like to me. This doesn't look like a guy who's like, hey, let's be buddies. It's sort of seems like he's just like, this guy's growing exponentially. I gotta get involved with him to help me, kind of thing. That's what it seems like to me. I mean, I could be wrong, but let's see what he says here.
On one of my videos. Yeah, really, Alex. Like 8 years later, yeah, for sure, that's the reason I popped up on your radar. This ad that my network put up for literally 5 days, that's what made you... Okay, yeah, sure. I don't want...
What?
This to sound like I'm angry at all, or anything. Why the you be angry? How would you even say that?
What is that? This is weird.
Got your ass. This is literally telling me right there that you're angry. And believe me, he was, because I have more to say about this when I actually met him. On the contrary, I'm very curious.
Now, I will say, I did make Theory mad once. Well, I didn't make him mad, but I tweeted out, I didn't say who it was about. I said, how do you do a, what did I say? I said, how do you do a 3-hour live stream or 3-hour video or whatever talking about a trailer? And I think it was the Acolyte trailer. And he responded to me and kind of called me out on it. He's like, he said something like, I'm interacting with my fans and blah, 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 blah. And, yeah, that was a stupid tweet. I admit it. It was dumb. But I just was, like, shocked when I saw a 3-hour long video talking about the trailer. But it turns out that he was literally, like, live chatting. Like, I'm dumb. I'm small. I don't know about this stuff. I don't have, like, a huge following to the point where I have, like, live streaming and stuff and live chats. So, ill-advised tweet, and it was directed at him. I wasn't trying to be a dick, but I kind of was. So, it was ill-advised. But I just, at the time, I was like, how do you even do that? But then I went and actually, I made the comment without actually looking at what he did. It was kind of stupid of me to do. And then I went and clicked on the video, and actually, yeah, he spends the vast majority of the time literally just talking to his followers and stuff, which is completely normal. Anyway, so, yes, that did happen.
Curious if you found it to be a good strategy. 50,000 subscribers in only a couple months is crazy good. So you're obviously doing something right. If you're open to it, I'd love to talk about some of the things you found to work, and I will do my best to help you in return. But if that's something you'd like to keep close to your chest, I understand. Anyways, it's nice to meet you. Keep up the great work, and may the force be with you. October 6th, 12:10 p.m.
October
I
6th.
respond the same day, literally when I just woke up, because I would work all throughout the night. I'd sleep probably around 7 a.m., and then I'd get like a few hours of sleep, and I'd wake up, and I'd get right back to writing videos. No eat.
Really? Why would you do that? Why do you need to stay up all night? Why don't you just do it during the day, dude? I don't understand that. That's and he's Pacific time. I am too. I think he's in Vancouver. Could be wrong, but pretty sure he's in Vancouver. I'm also in that time zone. I'm in British Columbia as well. And so if he's 7 a.m., that's 10 a.m. on the East Coast. Why would he feel like he needs to do that? That's an interesting question. I'd love to understand why he does that.
No gym, just frickin' no dating. I just... 1 million subs in a year. Anyway, so hey Alex, thanks for reaching out for sure. Ask away. If you want to chat through email, here's fine, or we can chat.
The other thing I'd love to know about this guy is how he was able to do that. Like, how did you spend all your time on your channel and pay your bills? Like, initially, right? Because I guess he was making some money, right? 50,000 subs, you're going to be making some money for sure. But how did he... whatever. I mean, he must have had some money saved up so he could do it, I guess. People do that. I know I listened to... They're called Abba and Preach. They're out of Montreal, Canada. They've got a kind of a cool channel. And they talked about that, how they had to save up a pile of money and then they kind of went full-time before they really got big. So maybe that's what obviously that's what he did. I mean, how else are you going to survive, right?
Facebook or whatever, either works. It says, hey, saw your tweet. Sorry I missed it for a couple days. Thanks for getting back to me. Chatting through email's fine. All right, so cool.
The other thing I was going to say is he has all these emails. Like, this is from 8 years ago? Man, I should have kept... I shouldn't be deleting stuff. This is wild.
No worries, man. My name is Neatus, by the way, but my friends call me Toos for short, or Nia. It says, so you're inquiring about the ad. I only started advertising through my network last Wednesday, and I haven't really seen any benefit to it thus far, so I may cancel it. What I've done is essentially just dedicate my days to making videos I find interesting. Adding music, and that's about it. The main videos that propel my channel are fan fictions where I write a story and act it out. According to my analytics, most new subscribers come for those which I feel sets my channel apart from others. Now when I say that, I didn't know what the hell analytics were. I didn't even know how to read them. I just figured, oh yeah, I get a lot of views on my fan fiction, so that's probably what people...
And if you don't know, I literally re-edited the sequels. That was kind of my motivation to start off. That doesn't look the best, you know what I mean, but the story's pretty good. I don't really have the best software, and I'm not necessarily that great of an editor either. And Jedi Flight, I mean, these are all good topics. It's funny, though, because a lot of this stuff, he's just doing stuff he cares about. And then now, if you go and, there's tons of videos, Can They Fly? There's tons of videos. I think he kind of, in a lot of ways, sort of pioneered some of that stuff, like stuff people weren't talking about, and then they saw him doing it and saw that it was worthwhile to do, I guess. Like, what if Mace Windu could pop? Yeah, and now you see tons of videos like that. So Theory actually, in a lot of ways, kind of paved the way. I could be wrong. If you know people that have been around longer that were doing that type of stuff, let me know. But
so I've been talking to Fact Free quite a bit, who is the lore master. He changed his name, and we're talking about doing a collab together. I emailed Stupendous Wave about it. He never responded, so I guess he's not down. My plan was to write a cool fanfiction and have you all play as different characters, which would be cool and something to excite all of our viewers. Your channel is the level I'd like to be at.
See, and it just, trying to get Theory involved and, quote, play a character, it sounds like he's trying to get these other creators to help boost him up, which there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. That's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that. He's asking politely. But it does seem to be kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say use them, but kind of, right?
By next year. How did you grow it? Any tips? By the way, if you're cool with it, can we put each other in our suggested friends list? Nice to meet you, Toos. Yeah, I was really curious about the ad. I've always considered giving that a shot, but is always skeptical. Bummer you're not seeing any benefit from it. Are you able to dedicate all day, every day to this? If so, I'm crazy jealous. I currently have a full-time job and have to do everything at night. Actually, you told everyone at the Lego booth in Chicago that your wife helps divide the workload into two. I would totally be down for a mass collab like you're suggesting, and yeah, I can add you as a recommended channel. As for tips, the main thing I would suggest is you're already doing, often better than I am. I think I have a lot I can work on. I need to be better with my titles and thumbnails and general SEO, in my opinion. Right off the bat, he's like, oh, he's just getting these views because of his titles and...
What does SEO mean? Oh, search... Okay. Dude, guys, I literally don't know. Search engine optimization.
his thumbnails, and clickbait. Please understand, everything I'm saying, you will see it all unravel. We're going to get to all of it. But I think the most important thing is consistency, which you're already doing great with. Looks like you're growing faster than me and a lot of the other channels, so you should easily be in the 200k range soon. Took me almost 2 years to get there. Really the best...
Dude, 2 years is pretty fast. That's actually really good. I don't know what this guy's worried about. That's really good. Like, people forget, like, a lot of channels that grow really fast have financial backing behind them. There's a lot of that happens. Then there's channels that just grow because they grow. I'm assuming Theories is one of them that just talks about stuff that people were interested in and they grow fast. But a lot of channels, even ones that are really big now, took a really long time to grow. Like 200k in 2 years is really good. I don't know why you would be insecure about that. You know, I watched the Mr. Beast documentary, and for his first, 5 years, he had Bo Diddley, and he almost gave up because he wasn't, he got one sub. You can watch it. It's on YouTube. And then he got up to 10, and he was all excited, and then... But it took him a long time. Like, he wasn't at 200k after 2 years. I think it took him, 5 years. So... to me, if I was at 200k, I'd be thrilled. I wouldn't be like, oh darn, I'm not as big as Star Wars Theory. I'd be like, dude, this is a full-time job now. This is awesome. I don't have to work anymore, right? I have to go to work. My wife works. We both have jobs, right? We live real lives. So 200k, I'd be thrilled with that.
Tip I have is just be cool and friendly, which again, seems like you are. Stupendous can be a little slow to open up and protective. He's definitely the quiet side with me, but he's starting to warm up. Good talking to you if you ever have any questions or just want...
By the way, before we go any further here, with Stupendous not getting back to him and all that stuff, I'm kind of that way too. I never wanted to look back, for example, if my channel was to actually become kind of big, whatever, 100,000 or 200,000 or something like that. If that ever does take place, I don't want to look back and say that I did it on the backs of other people. Right? That was kind of my thing from the beginning, is I'm going to do my sequels, reimagined, re-edited, whatever, blah, 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 and then I'm going to get into other stuff and start talking about Star Wars and blah, 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 blah more. But I don't want to be known as somebody who piggybacked somebody else. I always wanted to be known as somebody who did it himself. And that's why I would be the same way. If I got an email from a bigger channel even, and they were like, oh, do you want to do this? I'd be unlikely to do it. I did do one live stream with Fractured Filter, I think. They're brothers. And that was it. And they were, at the time, right around my size, I think, or maybe a bit smaller or whatever. I don't know. Who cares? But, I never wanted to be I need to piggyback off other guys. At this point, I've been doing it long enough where, if I did get a call from a bigger channel, I probably would now. But I never wanted to in the first few years, just because I was like, you know what, just do my thing, do what I'm doing. If people are interested, they'll tune in, whatever. Whatever happens, right? This Alex guy is... Why are you being so weird? You've got 200,000 subs.
To chat Star Wars, you can always shoot me an email or tweet something. I guess I can't anymore, because you guys blocked me. My philosophy is always...
I'm blocked too. I'm blocked by... Actually, I might not actually be blocked by Molly. She's the only one that hasn't blocked me, but the rest of them have all blocked me.
It's been the more big Star Wars
and I've never even talked to them
there,
before.
The better we can all learn and help each other grow. It's all about growing. It's all about... I didn't give a shit about any of that, man. I was just making my content and making it the way I wanted.
You know what? I'm with him on that one. I honestly just wanted people to see my sequels reimagined, see a story that could have taken place. And moving around the different scenes from the three sequels into a different order that made more sense, that made Rey grow as a character, have a huge character arc instead of just knowing everything. All of those things. Luke having a proper arc. Ben having a proper arc. All of those things. Leia. That was why I did it. I wanted people to see it because I wanted people to see that there was a lot of potential for the sequels. But not just for the sake of clicks. For all intents and purposes, guys, nobody's watched it. I think the most I have on one of them is maybe 1,500 views or something like that. So nobody cares. But it was just a fun thing to do. I really enjoyed doing it, and my wife did a lot of the voices for the females. I did all the men and changed them and warped them. And then my 2 sons and my daughter actually are all in it in really, really small roles as well when I needed, kid voices and stuff. So it was just a fun thing to do. And I think that's probably why Theory got so big, because he wasn't just completely focused on that. Yeah, sure, I'm sure he's like, cool, man, look at all these people watching my videos, but he's not like, I'm making them just so that people, I get more views. I don't think that's a good motivation. It isn't necessarily a bad motivation either, but you kind of want to just do what you want to do and not do what you have to do to try and grow, kind of thing. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to judge Alex just straight up like that, but that, you just do what you're doing. And again, 200K, what are you complaining for?
That was it. I didn't take a course on this. Man, I couldn't agree more with that. Seems like people are too riddled with greed, but if we all work together, we can not only become more successful at doing what we love, but make the Star Wars community stronger. Yeah, seems like Stupendous Wave doesn't like me or something. Maybe he sees me as a threat. I have no clue, which is absurd. My job allows me super flexible hours as I'm a realtor, so whenever my clients are taken care of, I have free time to spend on my channel. I'm going to add you now to my sidebar. It was a pleasure meeting you. For sure, I will contact you soon regarding more sort of collab and anything else. Have a great weekend. May the Force be with you. Then from there, we spoke a few more times, and then it started to get really sour. Started to get really bad. He asked me for a few, what was this in 2017? He's like, hey, if you don't mind me asking, where do you get the high quality comic images? And I told him,
what? Bro, you can get those anywhere, man. You can get those, Reddit will have them. I mean, I don't know. I've had to look up a few for a few videos, and I think I just Googled them. And then a lot of the ones that pop up on Google happen to be Reddit. And then if I can't just save them as JPEGs or whatever, I just screenshot them. How would you not know that?
Oh, you just type it in Google and you get those, and then you can comment on it. He's like,
yeah. You type it into Google. Yeah, what the heck, dude? So it sounds like he's just trying to keep a relationship with Theory. And I don't want to say this because I'm not him and I'm not Theory, but it feels like from the outside looking in, he's just emailing him just to email him, just to keep a conversation going, so he keeps the relationship going so that he can do some kind of collab or something in the future. I don't know. I'm just a guy. I'm just saying that's what it looks like.
Yeah, a little bit. Things got bad because he started to make, he made some inflammatory videos about my theories, about my what ifs for Snoke and this and that, and he would make fun of...
Snoke should have been Darth Plagueis. Spoiler, in my sequels reimagined, he is Darth Plagueis, and ties the entire thing together. So all 9 films have a congruent story. Sorry, I had to just say it. Nobody's watching it anyway, so I'm just gonna say it. Doesn't matter.
Some of the stuff in his questionnaire videos and poke at me, and I didn't take too good to that. And then he started to create a series and sell T-shirts for this new...
Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't watch a lot of Theory's older videos. I don't know about his what ifs at all. So I just don't know. I don't know what he said about Snoke, but Snoke should have been Plagueis.
New podcast he created called This Week in Clickbait, and I was the star.
This Week in Clickbait? Misguided uproar over international solo posters? Well, dude, that's so lame. Why would you take the gun away? I remember that. That was the lamest thing ever. He defended it. He defended the fact that they took the gun out. It was lame to take the gun out. It's Han Solo. Okay, so he's going after Theory in his videos, trying to get attention. Well, it's whatever. It's corny.
Of every single episode. And that's actually what brought me and Jeremy, Geeks and Gamers, together, was that he essentially used Jeremy as the entryway, the icebreaker, to then talk about a bigger topic, was me. And that video, I don't know if he's taken it down or if it's still out there or not. That was when Jeremy reached out to me and we spoke. We didn't like each other for a while. He full on went after me out of the frickin' blue on some topics and videos that I was talking about regarding some stuff in this scenario.
Now,
the solo posters.
I do want to say that this is going back a long time, right? This is going back several years, I guess. And Theory's never really talked about it that I know of. Correct me if I'm wrong. If he has, he has. But from what I know is he has kept silent about that. This guy's going after him. He's not really saying much about it. Or whatever, making fun of his videos or whatever, and he's not really saying much about it. That actually says a lot about him, right? So the only reason he's bringing it up now is because they put this stupid manifesto out trying to get people demonetized, and his name was on it. Honestly, I could be wrong here, but I don't think he would have even brought up this stuff if his name wasn't on that manifesto. He'd talk about it. I think he would have talked about it and said, this is wrong. They shouldn't be doing this to these other channels. But he hasn't. I didn't know about this. Like, again, I don't watch Star Wars Explained. So, I mean, it does say something that he hasn't brought this up, and they've been trying to use him and make fun of him in their videos. Oh, that's just dirty pool, dude.
They took out the guns and, like, the blasters in South America or something like that, from what I remember. Again, this is 2018, or even before that. It was quite a while ago. And I was talking about that in a video.
All of the blasters. And the way some of my peers covered it was downright laughable.
So Disney has decided to remove the blaster from Han Solo on this latest wave of posters.
So in recent events, Disney has now removed all blasters.
That looks so shite. Look at how dumb that looks with no gun. That looks so stupid. Why would you even do that? It looks dumb.
movie posters for Solo.
In the beginning, he started talking about, like thumbnails.
Wait, so this dude's emailing him like they're buddies and then doing videos where he's saying, oh man, that's dirty, dude. Ugh, that's kind of, I got a bad taste in my mouth from that. That's weird.
What are you doing for SEO and this and that and the other thing? I wouldn't be mad, but it's all about views. Fast forward to this, and now he's apologizing, and blah, 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 and so on and so forth. This is before the fan film. He says, I saw your plans for an upcoming fan film. I wish you all the best. Can't wait to see the Kickstarters. This is like way back. I met the guy first time where we all got flown out to do some sort of a thing together, a whole bunch of us. And I remember walking down the street with him, and he was like, before I knew who you were, I couldn't sleep at night. He's like, I'm serious. I'm paraphrasing. I'm serious.
What?
Molly would have to calm me down because I couldn't sleep at night because you and Stupendous Wave were just getting such crazy views.
Oh, what the... The Leia slave costume photo makes so much sense now. This is beta mail all over it, bro. This is straight up beta. Oh, I couldn't sleep at night because my wife had to console me and pet me to sleep because you were getting so much more views than me. So many more views than me. Oh, that's cringy, bro.
And we were working so hard, and we couldn't even come close to that. I was mad.
Yeah, but bro, you still got 200K, man. Like, that's pretty decent. Like, if you're putting out a video a day with 200K, you're making decent money. You're probably, I could be wrong, but you're probably making over 100 grand a year. Like, if I'm just doing the math in my head, even my little dinky channel, like what I get paid, if it was that much more, yeah, I mean, you're probably making, what's wrong with that? Why wouldn't that be enough? Weird. I don't know. And then the whole desire to be famous, like, that's part of the reason I don't show my face. I don't want to be, if my channel ever blew up, I don't want to be dealing with people. Well, some of you I would.
It's actually kind of cool. It's a bird. It's a plane. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, man. And he's like, well, I just feel bad because I just, really didn't like you, and I see that you're such a nice guy now, and... You
didn't like him just because he was getting more views than you, bro? Oh, you know what? I wouldn't even want to go to these events that these guys go to if this is the type of people that are there. I cry myself to, or I can't fall asleep because this guy has more success than me, and I hated him because of his success. It's just horny, man.
So I want to apologize. I feel like Alex is actually a nice guy, to the point where, I don't know if he does have this, but I feel like he has a sort of compulsion OCD where he, has to tell you if he feels bad or guilty about something. He started just, opening up and telling me these things about, I was like, oh, don't worry about it, man. It's all good. He's like, I just see you're such a nice person now, and I just feel bad about that. And,
yeah, but what would make you think he wasn't a nice person based on his videos? Like, if you hadn't met him, right, and all you've done is watch his videos and then had some emails back and forth or messages or whatever, why would those, and none of this would say to me this dude's a jerk or something. He's just a guy. I don't get it. Like, why would you? It just sounds like just pure jealousy at that point. That's ugh.
He fucking hated me for the views.
So funny. This is stupid drama.
His wife would have to calm him down. Man, this whole shit's about views for these guys. I remember I took a cab with him once to the airport. We split a cab. I didn't sleep. I was up all night. and I was editing in the cab, in the back of the cab. He's like, "What are you editing?" I'm like, "Oh, just the new Vader comic." He's like, "That just came out." I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't sleep." And then I showed him, and I pressed play as it was in the Final Cut thing, and he was just looking at it and didn't say a word. He was just like, I was like, "Yeah, I'm really excited to get it out." And I'm like, "All right, man. Well, it's my stop. You know, hey, it was great seeing you." And he's like, "Yeah, yeah," and that was it. And then he started this week in clickbait shit, and I just was like, "Dude, like, you could message me if you like. We've literally
I don't get that's the
times,
thing I don't get either. Like you're interacting with this guy through whatever messaging, emails, whatever, and then you put that out without saying anything. It's kind of that's weird.
Like been to Germany together for Gamescom. We've been other places together for like other stuff. Clearly, all about trying to slander me and like put me down and whatever to make yourself look taller. And so I didn't like that. And then, you know, fast forward, there's a few more. He's like, "I still imagine you're not a fan of mine, which is fine. I get it, but I wanted to say congrats on your film. I know how much time and effort it took, and that looks great. You should be very proud, and I hope to see it continue." So then we didn't talk until...
By the way, the Vader one, the first one he did, is if you haven't seen it, it is pretty awesome. I love the Padme Vision thing, and then Palpatine. I'm not going to say anything more than that. It's pretty good. It is pretty dang good. I'm not a huge fan of the new ones he's been doing, the computer generated ones. I don't know what it is. Something about it just feels weird. Like the story's cool and stuff. It's EU. I don't know what it is though. Something about it. Something about the way it looks. Like it's good, but it's I don't know what it is. I can't figure out what it is. It's weird.
2019, when we were both put together for the Lego group. We essentially were the two Star Wars creators at Celebration Chicago, where we had to go head to head against each other and like build Lego or something like that. And it was fun. Backstage, before we go live, while we're getting mic'd up, he's there. He's in the freaking tent, and we hadn't talked. I had been ignoring him and all that. He comes to me and he's like, "Look, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry for what I did."
So this guy like, this is one of these guys who like, he's like. Acts like a jerk, and then to get your attention, and then when he finally sees you, he pretends to be sorry to like get you to placate to him or something. Oh, it's weird, man.
Those videos, I shouldn't have made them. I should have just contacted you about it, and I shouldn't have done it publicly.
See, it's one of those things where he's asking for forgiveness rather than permission now, which in some things can work, but not when you're dealing with other human beings in this type of an environment. That's just not. No, like I'd be like, "Bro, you've done it now. You've made your money off of that video bashing me. Why am I gonna give a crap about what you're saying right now? Like, why would I?"
And I mean, the guy had like a whole merch line. Like he was all about it, bro. Like this guy was like,
"Get a merch line?"
There's that. And shook his hand and I accepted his apology. I'm like, it's fine. 4 years into the YouTube space with my channel. I wasn't the same happy-go-lucky kid because now I know that these guys are two-faced as f***, and I can't trust.
How old is this guy, by the way? Okay, I didn't know any of this stuff. That's an interesting name. I wonder what the nationality of that is. Like Iranian or like Armenian, maybe? Anyways, how old is this guy? Okay, maybe it'll tell me here. I'm just curious to know. Like, he looks like he's got to be in his 30s. Dude, how old is this guy? Does anyone know? Doesn't say anywhere. That's weird. Usually Wikipedia pages say how old these guys are. Okay, yeah, so he's 34. I wonder what high school he went to in Vancouver. Very curious to know. Okay, well, anyways, 34. Okay, I just wanted to check that.
Trust any of them, right? So, Hello Greedo, that was another one. That was another guy who was in with him. And
Hello Greedo's a jerk too?
And he would talk so much shit about me. Then I met him at one of the functions. The first thing he says to me, we were all in like a little huddle together, all in a group. Alex is like, "Yeah, this is Star Wars Theory." And I'm like, "Oh, hey man, how's it going?" And I knew the shit he said. I knew the shit he talked about me in videos and all that stuff. And he'd be like, "Very big, very big." Is that all you guys care about? YouTubers, if they...
See, that's the other thing too, when you know, in business, in any business, and YouTube is a business, and YouTubers are business people, essentially, right? It's almost like they run their own business, kind of, right? You have to be careful how much jibber-jabber you're going to do. Like, I can't even imagine if I just, like, every video I did, I was just bashing these larger channels. And then someday, you know, I get invited to one of those things, and now I have to see these people in the face and be like, hey, like, how awkward that would be. it's best just not to say anything. Like, there's lots of Star Wars theory videos I'm not like, woo, yay, but I'm not going to just sit here and bash them. I just say, okay, that is what it is, moving on. Like, there's no point in doing that. And using bashing other people's channels to grow your channel, I think is pretty crappy. Disney, I have no sympathy for. Right? I have no sympathy for Disney. I will critique their crappy product until the cows come home. But I'm not going to go after other channels. I just don't see that as being productive. I just ignore them. Like, if somebody has it, like Star Wars Explained, like I said, I don't watch them. I just don't. I don't want to hear about how great everything is all the time. There's that other guy. I watched one video of that Jacob guy, the Suggs guy or whatever. He's, of course, blocked me now as well. And I did bash him. He's the one guy I did bash. But he bashed me lots of times on Twitter, too. I kind of regret bashing him in a way, because I shouldn't really do that. And I don't do that. That's really the only guy I ever really have bashed on my YouTube channel, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, but again, it's ill-advised, because then, you know, you got to see these people in person. What are you going to do? You're going to bash that guy to his face? Actually, Jacob, I probably would bash to his face. But I'm just saying, right? Like, it's just ill-advised in any business, because you want to be as cooperative as you possibly can so that it can benefit you, potentially. If this guy, Alex, had been a little more cooperative and not bashing him, maybe they could have done sort of a collab or done something together, and it would have benefited him, right? So that's where you're kind of crapping where you eat when you do that.
They have a big following and they get a lot of views. They can make a lot of money. I'm not saying I'm on Mr. Beast level or PewDiePie or even anyone like that huge, but I definitely do well for
I'm going to
myself.
skip this part.
This and that and the other thing. And YouTubers have joined the attacks on Mandela, including Star Wars Theory, because it's so profitable. Everything is always about money. And it's like, people who make money, they don't really care that much about...
Okay, for the record, I also talk about Amandla, and I'm not making much money. I just think it's hilarious. I think her music video was hilarious and cringe. And then that... other video she made after the Acolyte was canceled was super cringe, and she's doing her hair, and it looked like she was reading prompts from a piece of paper on the desk she kept looking down at. Like someone was telling her to say those things, and then made it about the vote. Made it about anti-right-wingers and voting for Kamala. Like, it's cringe, bro.
Money. It's so much bigger than that. It's about, what can I do with this money? I want to take this and I want to make a cool movie, or I want to make a cool product, or I want to build a team or a business or something like that. I make money not because I pander to any sort of thing that is lucrative. I make money because now at this point, what I have to say obviously resonates with people, and they want to know what I have to say about it.
Yeah, honestly, I never got the impression that this dude was, like, trying to do clickbait or, like... Heck, I do way more clickbait than this guy, than Star Wars Theory. I feel like he's just talking about stuff, like... And most of his videos I have watched... I haven't watched a ton of his videos either, but most of the ones I have watched, I've been in agreement with most of it. So, but again, I don't get any impression that, like, any of this, like, the Acolyte's major problem no one is talking about. Like, that's a story video. Episode 4, you thought last week was bad. Yeah, like, that's just talking about how crappy the show was and the story. And that's what most of us do. Like, I don't understand. And this is pretty good. I have to admit, that was funny. Some of the time when he's trying to be funny, to me, it kind of doesn't. It kind of falls flat. It's like me, like, when I write, I have a hard... It's funny because I'm considered a funny guy to, like, the people around me. But when I write stuff, I have a hard time writing humor. Theory isn't necessarily the best at that either, but this is a pretty funny video, the Palpatine one.
And to be honest, it's because people like you, Molly, have made me popular as like, oh, I gotta see what that controversial guy has to say. It's like when it's really just a guy who's speaking his mind and speaking his opinion,
you're really just helping
but
him.
you guys have made me into such a bigger thing than I was. All I ever wanted was to be accepted.
Who are these people that think Star Wars Theory is like this like super controversial guy, honestly? Like, this dude's the most like non-controversial dude ever. And even the last few years when he's sort of gotten more critical, it's pretty non-controversial. Like, I don't get that at all. I don't get that impression from him at all.
My thing. You guys have turned me into this image of me that's not even me. And it's unfortunate that the minority sees me in some sort of a shadow figure light, whereas my subscribers and the people who stand by me and love me and know who I am see me for who I am, which is me. This isn't an act. This
Yeah,
isn't
there's nothing special
This is just me.
going on.
Just like people don't
he's
like me,
literally
and
just
people do
critiquing
like me.
Star Wars.
People don't like the Acolyte, and people like the Acolyte. People have preferences.
People like the
We're
Acolyte?
inclusive of everybody, no matter what. You have to
Who are
think
these people?
the way
We must
we
find
think.
these people.
And if you
We
don't,
must
we're
study
going
them.
to destroy your livelihood. We're going to vote to get you ripped off of a platform that's feeding you and your family and other people's families and giving other people jobs and this and that and the other thing. And to that, I think that is so unbelievably malicious. And Molly, you want to talk about YouTube guidelines, community guidelines, coordinating an attack against other YouTubers to get them ripped off of a platform for claims that you would need to definitely prove in court.
I don't think she can prove that. I think, yes, Kinno and some of these guys do sometimes their language is a little inflammatory, but they're just making fun of crappy shows. Like, you're allowed to make fun of crappy shows. 100%. And that's what made this whole situation so funny, because if you didn't know, YouTube responded on Twitter to this and said, no, none of this violates our terms of service. And so it was like a slap across the face with a fish to Star Wars Explained. And looking at what he's talking about in the emails, and it's all about the views and stuff, it seems like Star Wars Explained and Alex and Molly think that if they took down those other channels, that somehow those people are going to gravitate towards them. Like, of the four, of Theory, Kinno, Jeremy, and Gary, Neurotics, I would say I probably watch Gary's videos the most of those four dudes. I'm not gonna, if Gary was taken off, I'm not gonna be like, you know what, Gary's gone, I'm gonna go watch Star Wars Explained now. No! It's not gonna make me go there. So, their whole mentality, I think at least, what they're thinking, that, oh, we're gonna harvest all those viewers that no longer can watch Gary or no longer can watch Jeremy or Ryan or whoever. Are you out of your mind? Like, no one is gonna go watch your crap because they no longer can watch those guys. Like, those guys are on the total opposite end in terms of their view of what is happening with entertainment and the entertainment business and Disney. You guys are all about promoting what they're doing, even though it sucks, in my opinion. Whereas those guys, and myself included, are on the opposite end. We're saying, no, this sucks. We're disappointed in our beloved IPs, in our nerddom being ruined. So, no one's going to go watch you just because you got them demonetized.
Was against the community guidelines. And that could actually backfire on you. I would be really surprised if Nerdrotic, Ryan Kinno, and Geeks and Gamers don't actually pool together to sue you. I really would be actually surprised. I'd be more surprised if they didn't do that.
Well, as far as that goes, I think that's a little much. I'm not sure you could sue them, because at the end of the day, they are appealing to a higher authority, and then that higher authority said no. You're allowed to appeal to a higher authority. Is it cringy? Yes. Is it lame? Yes. Is it ridiculous? 100%. But it's still an appeal to YouTube, and YouTube made the decision. The suing, I think, would be more likely to happen if YouTube did demonetize them because of this. Then I think you have a case and you go to court for that. And you're actually, at that point, you're suing them and YouTube, right? Because then they're not honoring their contract that they made in their terms of service. But I don't think you could sue them for this theory. I think that's getting a little ahead of yourself.
The Acolyte getting greenlit for another season. Mandalorian Season 2 finale came out and Luke Skywalker showed up. I was crying and I was like, a spectacle on the internet.
I remember that.
Hidalgo making fun of me. We had Molly Damon.
Why did, and listen, like, don't get me wrong, like, I thought it was kind of funny that he cried. I did. I thought it was kind of funny. But I didn't talk about it because, again, I don't want to just slam on people. But at the same time, he really loves Star Wars and he loves Luke. And I can see, I got inside somewhat emotional as well. I didn't cry or anything, but I did. But Hidalgo, like, if you're Pablo Hidalgo and you're the head writer or head of the writers group or whatever, what are you thinking going after a fan? That was the dumbest thing you could do. Like, you're trying to promote your brand, your IP, which is Star Wars, and you're going after this guy who's got a ton of people following him, and like, what were you thinking making fun of him? Just shut up. If you think it was corny, sure, you're allowed to think that. You're allowed to think him crying over it was corny. Of course you are. You're allowed to think whatever you want. But don't say that. Don't come out. You work for Disney, you dummy. Like, and again, this goes back to, and Nerdrotics talks about this. Obviously, I've talked about this. The people that are running these companies are not intelligent. They're not intelligent.
Who was joining in on the fun by posting a GIF of that GIF of a woman laughing or spitting out her coffee on someone who posted a video of me crying, but made it to, I think it was something about like SpongeBob or some shit, or something like that. And to that I just say, where's your heart? Where's the inclusivity there? Is it because I make money?
Yeah, exactly.
Money away from
like exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like I obviously I was like, what? Whoa, bro, you're crying. Like, calm down. But at the same time, I'm not gonna be like, let's go make fun of him online. Like, whatever, man. Like, that's where people are weird. Like, just be respectable, right? Like, it's just... But then they get all, like, hot and bothered and come to the defense of these famous movie stars that don't even know who they are. Like, it's weird, man.
All of this stuff. None of us make money. Let's just say none of us make money. Is it about views then? Is it about popularity? Okay, take all that away. Let's say you can't see the view count, nothing. You can't see the subscriber count, nothing. Would there really be that level of animosity? Or is it something a little deeper? Is it about this week in clickbait? Is it about Alex not being able to sleep at night and you having to freaking coddle him so that he could sleep because another channel was putting out content that was getting more views? I guess it all has to be because of SEO and thumbnails, right? Now, I remember at a function, I overheard you guys talking to, I think it was...
By the way, thumbnails is important. I've learned that. And my thumbnails have gotten better. They have gotten better. My thumbnails when I first started my channel were pretty pathetic, but they've gotten better.
It was Eckhart's Ladder, who, the first time I met him, sat next to me, asked me how much money I made the previous month.
See, that, I this is really revealing, because, like, Eckhart's Ladder, I have watched a few of his videos. I think he's Canadian. No, maybe he's not. I know there's the Eck guy that does, like, he's got, like, a Star Wars channel, and then he has a hockey channel. And I thought about doing that too because I really love hockey, but it's just, I don't have time. I don't even have time to do this pretty much. So, but I didn't think he was like that. But, it's funny. Theory is dropping bombs right now on these guys. And again, it's because these people aren't business people. And so they don't think like, hey, maybe I should think about what I'm going to say before I say it. And again, I'm not perfect. I've made the mistake. I've said a couple comments that are stupid too. I've admitted that. Don't get me wrong. But when you're doing that all the time and you're bashing people all the time and it's all about money and clicks and stuff, you're going to get a bad reputation.
I was just so off-put by it. I was eating my dinner. I was like, I'm not telling you. I said, come on, just tell me. No, I don't know you. I'm not telling you. That's...
Why would you ask somebody how much money they make? I don't even do that with my brothers and sisters and stuff. Like, the only person that I've ever felt comfortable asking what kind of money I make was my dad. But that's my dad. My dad's like my best friend, basically. So, and even when he asks me, sometimes it's like, well, Dad, why do you need to know? But it's my dad, so I tell him. But my siblings, I have no idea. I mean, I can guess maybe. Like, my one brother's an engineer, so he's probably making bank. My other brother-in-law's a journeyman electrician. He's probably making some pretty good coin. My other brother is a media guy who's worked for production companies and put on concerts and stuff. So I'm pretty sure he's making pretty good money. I'm the ugly duckling, just so you know. I've done framing and maintenance and stuff. So, but I don't ask my siblings how much money they make. And you don't even know this dude, and you're asking him how much money he makes. Are there a lot of YouTubers that are socially kind of dumb, like socially inept? You don't ask somebody that. It's like asking a woman what she weighs. I don't even really ask my wife what she weighs. I mean, I have, but not very often.
This is so weird. Why are you guys so obsessed with money? That's another creator who I was cool with, and he eventually started to...
Now, as far as money, I do want to say, I do want to make money on my YouTube. I would love to stay home and make YouTube videos rather than having to go and do construction jobs and stuff like that. Of course I would. But I'm not going to not make my videos because I'm not really making much money off of them. I just love to make them, right? And that's, I think, what matters most. So, like, I like making them, so if someday I can make a living off of it, that's the dream, right? You're doing what you love to do, and it's providing you with your food and housing and car and all that stuff. Of course. But again, like, they have 200,000 subs. Why are you worried about money at that point? At that point, you're making pretty good money.
And online. And he was the first person.
Probably not anymore now.
With
this stuff coming out, I feel like these guys are going to get buried. Their channels are done.
Back when YouTube had emails. Hey man, I'm not sure if you've seen my videos before, but I'm a fellow Canadian Star Wars creator.
Yeah, he is Canadian. Okay, so it is that guy that had the hockey thing. Pretty sure he has a hockey channel too.
Without a job, and I'm now relying on my channel to survive. I know that you're also relatively new to YouTube, and was wondering whether you could help me out in some way. Perhaps a video shout out or something similar. I'm not sure what I can get.
That's weird to me. That's weird to me. Like, messaging someone I don't know who's got a bigger following than me and asking them to give me a shout out to help me grow my channel. And that goes back to what I said earlier. I never wanted to do that because I never wanted to be that guy that piggybacked other people. If they come to me, then I might. You know, like that Star Wars girl who posted the initial Molly's tweet there, she followed me back on Twitter, and that was a big deal to me. And she's I think she's retweeted one or two of my tweets, and we've interacted a little bit. And I felt really cool about that because she's got a really big following and I like her videos. I watch some of her videos too. But I don't think I could go the other way around. Like, oh, please give me a shout out. So, hey, Star Wars girl, can you give me a shout out? Like, if she decides to do it, which she did, I guess, a couple times on Twitter, that's awesome. And that's really thrilling. But I just feel like it's kind of corny to be like, hey, man, can you do this? Like, I don't know. And maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe that's my pride or ego or something. But I don't know. I just never thought that was like a cool thing to do. Is kind of weird.
Give you in return, but I'd be happy to help you out in any way possible. Yeah, that's nice. Just found that not genuine. You're doing this for money, and I really hold Star Wars so close to me.
And, you know, I don't blame Theory for being protective of that type of stuff because it'd be difficult to know people's motives, right? Because he has reached the point where he is super influential and has a big following and makes money and stuff. And it's like, I'd be nervous about getting involved with other accounts because you don't know their motives. And in this case, he figures it's money. And it's the same way, you know, a really wealthy guy will have probably a more difficult time finding a spouse because he's already got wealth. She wasn't there when he was poor. So then it's hard. You know what I'm saying? It's tricky to really know if that person's really into you or if they're just into the lifestyle you can provide for them. So I don't blame them at all. And that's another reason why I don't reach out to any of these big channels because I'm like, they're going to think of me as like some loser who's just trying to use them to get big. Right. And I don't want them to think that.
But I was like, man, I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this because I love Star Wars. So once I didn't give him his answer, I didn't tell him how much money I made the previous month. He then went and got chummy with weird. Molly and Alex. And I was like, okay. And I'm just still eating my food, and pretty much people are clearing out at that point. And I remember overhearing. I got some big ears, man. I got just Yoda ears. I was overhearing those eavesdropping, if you will. But they were like at the other side of the table. And Molly freaking says, again, paraphrasing here, she says, yeah, a lot of other people started using our name in their titles, Star Wars Explained, and so we're trying to have to think of something to be more unique and stand out. And I'm like, are you guys fucking kidding me? You're pissed at me because I use Star Wars Explained in my titles? And I'm like, whatever, I'm just thinking too much of it. Then, like a year later, I see this dude who worked at, I think it was ILM VFX Lab or something like that, like what they had for Vader Immortal at Downtown Disney, which was an amazing experience. I had a fan meetup there, and then I took a bunch of fans, and we all went to Vader Immortal and had a great time. So, shout out to all you guys. So
Vader Immortal, is that the video game? The 3D one? I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a huge fan of that. I know a lot of people like it, but I don't know. If that's what he's talking about, I was kind of like, meh. I mean, the fighting Vader part's cool, but I don't know. The rest of it was kind of, eh.
So then I remember this guy that, like, is a Lucasfilm official. He works there. He literally inadvertently calls me out on Twitter, and I'm like, he says, all these big Star Wars YouTubers profiting, if someone can find this tweet, that'd be amazing, profiting off of Alex and Molly's hard work by using the metadata and SEO of Star
Yeah, but weren't they asking Theory to, like, prop their stuff up? Wouldn't they be glad? Because in the algorithm, that will lead traffic to their channel, I think. If I could be wrong, but I mean, I don't know everything about it, but if he's putting Star Wars Explained in his title, wouldn't the algorithm kind of help boost them? Because he's a bigger channel? By the way, anyone who, feel free to put Script Trooper in your title. Please do. It's like, what the? This is so weird, dude. Oh, man. It reeks of just jealousy. You know, it's like, he's bigger than I am. Remember, like, earlier Alex was saying, oh, he's so big. Who cares? Who cares? Live your life, man. You got 200,000 subs. That's awesome. I can't believe people are, like, so weird like that.
Wars Explained that they worked so hard for so many years to grow and build in the metadata or some shit. That was the first time I actually, like, commented on this. I'm like, bro, you're so stupid. Literally, I am the one that's carrying the word Star Wars Explained by my views, and if anything, it is propelling Alex's channel 10 fucking fold.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I just said. Exactly.
That Star Wars Explained title
put Script Trooper in your thing.
SEO and creating a wave
Anybody
because of my video.
Put it on your video, please.
Alex and Molly are benefiting a lot from all of that.
In fact, you know what? Bash me. Do Script Trooper bashing videos, please.
It's just like the level of absolute entitlement and people just getting pissed over views and thinking that I'm stealing views. Bro, there's another
steal my views theory, please. Put it in the title.
Over the years,
steal my views, please.
He's such a piece of shit. I don't even want to make this video about him because this is about Molly. This is about Molly and Star Wars Explained and Alex and how they've been literally gunning for me from the very.
But what I like about this video though is he's kind of tying in. There's like a group of them, like the whole bunch of them, and you know we've seen those photos, right? Of the shill photo that I use sometimes in my videos of like them with whatever, Leslie Headland and Filoni. And I guess all those people are, like, connected, and they just don't like Star Wars Theory because he's not part of their little group, I guess. It's just junior high-level garbage, man.
And if I didn't join them, then this is the treatment.
Yeah, exactly.
It's unbelievably wild to me that, like, most people aren't able to actually see them for what they are. Well, hopefully that this maybe gives you a bit of a understanding.
Well, to be fair, a lot of us see them as shills, right? They're not real critics. They're just people that say things are wonderful, so they get their care packages of goodies, and they get their tickets to premieres and stuff. That's how I see them, those channels. And then they use the goodies that they got sent to them to promote those products and action figures and whatever on their channels, which helps Disney and then also helps them because they monetize those videos. They're just shills. It's just a bunch of shills. I will say about Star Wars Theory, like, he's done it himself. He's not a shill. I'll give him that. You know what I mean? Like, most of the biggest channels for just Star Wars, like, I know there's Nerdrotics and Geek and Gamers, those guys are big and stuff, but they talk about, like, a wide spectrum of stuff. For just Star Wars channels, most of the biggest ones are shill channels. So you got to give him credit. At least he's not a shill channel. And he just started his own business. So, I mean, you got to give him credit for that. Because he could have easily been a shill channel. Like, if he wanted to, after The Last Jedi, and he was negative on that and stuff, he could have just been positive about it. And he would probably be even bigger and probably be making even more money by being a shill channel, right? Like, Disney would be kissing his bum from here to Nantucket because, you know, he's big and he'd be promoting their garbage product.
With these people, because it literally ain't all sunshines and rainbows like they preach. They ain't inclusive. They're inclusive as long as you aren't getting more views than them. And at the end of the day, it's all about money and views for these people. Listen, since the beginning, I've been making tons of money and getting tons of views. I could make lore videos, fanfictions, what-ifs, talk about the news of a show. I'll still get the same amount of large views. If anything, when Star Wars is good, I get more views. And I'm the only one that knows my analytics better than anybody else on this planet. So, at the end of the day...
Yeah, I think he's right about that because he did his stream, because he does those watch parties, right? And his stream for the Acolyte was way less than for Mandalorian. Because nobody gives a crap about the Acolyte. Because it sucks. So he's right about that. He would actually be a lot bigger if Star Wars didn't suck right now.
They can make it all about views. But look, people just don't watch your content because they're just not as into it as they are maybe some other people.
No, it's boring and shill, bro.
Don't hate the player. Hate the game, baby.
It's just shilling.
And to be honest, it's not even a game. It's just, man, I'm just a Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars. And everything, views and money and all this shit. And look, don't get me wrong. And hear my echoing of my chewing. And I'm not saying that to be like, oh, boo-hoo me. Nah, man, I liked being alone, but at the same time, I wasn't really understood, and I'd go home, and I found so much clarity and love with Star Wars. So what a lot of people see was, my success right at the start, bang, right off the bat, was, probably about 20-something years of Star Wars knowledge and what-ifs in my head. And now it's turned into this thing where, like, I'm this villain, I'm this evil guy, I'm this, this corporate...
Well, yeah, because you don't love everything they're doing. You must shill Star Wars theory. Shill!
Entity, it's like, man, I'm still the same guy that made his channel from 0 subscribers on his cell phone in his 1-bedroom apartment, working day and night to the bone, where he was hallucinating things coming out of the walls and not eating and not sleeping because he was just so happy and so infatuated with the evidence and the clips. Me? Fuck. Like, open up a GoFundMe, dude. I'll donate to you so you shut up. What do you want? That's the problem. People aren't watching your stuff, even with all of the free press and extra stuff that Lucasfilm and Disney give you.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that should tell you something. Maybe
Yeah.
people just don't like you, and that's a you problem. Take accountability.
Well, they don't like them, and they don't like Disney's product that they continuously talk about how great it is. That's really what it comes down to.
So many times I've given people the benefit of the doubt. I've befriended so many people, brought them on my channel, given them clout, and they just turn around and stab me in the back once they get...
Have Star Wars Explained been on Theory's channel? I don't know. I'm just literally asking.
What they want. I have receipts to everything. The Star Wars fandom refuses to watch...
Yeah, bro, this guy keeps emails for 8 years. Don't say anything stupid. Holy smokes, man. This is wild stuff. I'm glad he did, though, because now we can see, like, what these people were really about. I mean, we kind of knew already, but it's nice to see the receipts. Like, it's interesting to hear these behind-the-scenes stories about all these different channels. Like, it's pretty wild stuff. And the stupid thing about messing with Theory and putting him on this thing is he's big enough that he doesn't have to care now. Like, a smaller channel might, like, keep their mouth shut because they're afraid of the backlash, but you dummies put him in this letter and he doesn't have to care. So he's just going to rip you a new one because it doesn't matter because it's not going to affect him.
A marginalized actor or fan be singled out by prolonged racist harassment from a handful of YouTubers as a result of YouTube's inaction, which has transformed hate into a lucrative career path. It is concerning to us that targeting marginalized actors on other social media platforms has historically resulted in That's the one thing I've seen that isn't cool. But besides that, what are the other claims here? Now, you want to talk about me? Well, I know you're lumping me in there, too. Listen, Molly, I didn't make my millions by doing This Week in Clickbait and making merch out of it, making fun of others for having legitimate reactions to a character that they hold very close to them, crying. I didn't make my money.
Did they make a video about Theory crying? I know he mentioned the tweet earlier, but did they make a video about it? It's just dumb to do stuff like that. I don't know. I mean,
sizing these garbage shows, I made my money years before that through making lore content and the type of content that had your husband reaching out, wondering why I'm growing so fucking fast. We understand that YouTube has an important role to play in promoting free speech. However, content uploaded by geeks and gamers, RK Outpost, or Neurotic is not opinion or criticism. It is prolonged, targeted harassment against women of color. We urge YouTube to enforce its community guidelines and demonetize these channels.
Women of color. Those guys rip the actress that plays Galadriel all the time. That is a white chick. They rip Elrond. They rip all the elves in that show. They rip everybody. They don't just exclusively rip on women of color. They literally rip on everybody. That's crappy. Every show that sucks. What are you talking about? It's everybody that sucks. Like, what are you talking about?
Immediately and permanently. Thank you. May the force be with you. Boys, honestly, if you don't take them to court, man, I'm seriously wondering, like,
you're not going to take them to
court. You're responding to is full of fabricated lies and quote, Team YouTube, this is a coordinated and targeted harassment campaign from a group of creators simply because they do not like the opinions of Nerdrox, Geeks Gamers, Kendall Ryan, D-Day Cobra. The post you're responding to is full of fabricated lies and quotes purposefully. Again, I'm saying, like, boys, I don't know why you're not taking them to freaking court.
I don't know if they'd be able
kind
to.
of loser to advocate for the demonetization and or deplatforming of a content creator because they express that they did not like the same show you did. Acolyte fans, please disown these self-important clowns having a tantrum. Yeah, this one too, I see this one passed around. You think it's cool to hate things. It's not. Boring. So talk about what you love and keep quiet about what you don't. It's fucking fascism, bro. Just don't have an opinion, just consume, repeat, and that's it.
That's really what it's about. They essentially work for Disney. They work for the packages they get in the mail and everything else, and the premiere tickets. And ultimately what it comes down to is you're not, if you don't like something, be quiet, and so that only the voices that like it can be heard, so that the corporation, looks good. It's really weird, and it's weird that a lot of people that think like that think that they're like part of the rebellion, like they're the punk rockers of today's day and age. It's the opposite. You guys are corporate shills. There's nothing punk rock about being a shill. Nothing. So, really weird. I don't get it. I don't get how they can think that. We worship the corporation, but we're the good guys. Like, what the heck?
This is wrong. Look at who's posting these complaints and who follows their accounts. Yeah, Star Wars follows them. Doesn't take much to figure out that there's not much love in a galaxy.
Star Wars follows them. There you go. Well, there you go.
Our way. So, here's why the Acolyte failed. The bottom of the barrel. It sucked.
Yeah.
I watched it. So, a company that wants to be
It was fun to make fun of, though, I will
we're
say,
not
in the
gonna dump
review.
another
My reviews were fun,
$180
because it's like,
into
I just
this
made fun of
and
it.
not make our money back when we could be making better things. Hear this. I've been reporting these channels since 2018. That's wild, bro. That you got a lot of time on your hands. I've reported thumbnails. I've reported blatant breaches in the terms of service. I've written emails. I've spoken about it on social media. I've made videos. I've done everything in my power to remove this bigotry. Have you? Bro, it's...
What? And again, I go back to it. If you remove all these channels, none of the people that watch those channels are going to be like, okay, I'm going to go watch this guy now, whoever this Spider-Man looking dude is. No one's going to do that. You're not going to gain anything by it. You're literally going to gain nothing. Your channel's going to remain what it is. No one like me is going to go onto your channel because you got rid of Gary or Theory. Like, it's not going to happen, man. I don't want to see your content. Your content sucks. It's shill. I don't want shill content. I want legit criticism. And listen, there's a lot of things that Theory likes that I don't like. And I don't agree with him on everything. But at least he's not a shill. He's giving his honest opinion. And he's saying when stuff sucks that it sucks. So, like, that's all we want is just people that are just giving their honest opinion and not shilling. Nobody wants to listen to shills all day.
Hilarious. They
Except
just
for
keep, like,
shills.
the same slanderous bullshit, and YouTube just keeps giving this, this NPC response, copy-paste response. We understand this may be frustrating.
Yeah.
They
just respond to all of them with the exact same one.
Geeks, Gamers.com, and Ryan Kinnell have very good defamation claims against Molly Damon and others.
Do they? I mean, I guess, is this guy a lawyer? Yeah, okay, maybe they do then. I don't know. To me, it just seems like it's not really worth it, but maybe they do. I don't know.
As friends, this dude, frickin' apparently he's their friend, and he can act on their behalf and represent.
Try a lawyer. Okay. Okay. Well, he knows more about it than I do, so maybe they could sue them. I don't know. I don't totally see how they could though, just because again they're going through YouTube. I don't know. Like, okay, they said that they made racist comments. I guess that's technically defaming them, but she didn't say in the letter that they were racists. She said they made racist comments. It's pretty careful language, and that's part of the reason I think it's coming from someone above them. Like, maybe it's actually coming from Lucasfilm themselves or somebody else. Because, and again, I don't know that, but it just seems like it just doesn't sound like it's coming from them. I could be wrong. I mean, I don't really know them that well, but whatever. I don't really know their channel very well, so maybe. But anyways, okay, this guy's a lawyer. He knows what he's doing. I mean, I guess maybe they could.
Guys, look, I don't know if you guys watch this shit or not, but like, this is just one too much. You know, saying like, oh no, you're this and that, okay, whatever. But now, like, actually trying to take away your ability to feed yourselves and your families based on their lies. That's war. What is that? That's today's version of war. Uh-oh, I guess Star Wars Explained couldn't handle that smoke I sent their way regarding that BS blackface cancel campaign of YouTubers who dare criticize the Acolyte. Molly Damon lied. She absolutely fights what she hates, and she hates YouTubers who don't love Disney Star Wars. No, I wouldn't say that. I would say she hates YouTubers who make more money than her and Alex. That's literally all it comes down to at the end of the day. It's just about money with these people.
That, again, is so weird. Like, you got 200,000 subs, bruh. You're making money. What are you complaining about? Your career is sitting in front of a computer doing whatever you want to do. I have to go put my work boots on and go work. I would switch roles in a heartbeat if I could. So who cares how much money Star Wars Theory made? If I made enough money to provide for my family making YouTube videos instead of doing construction jobs, are you out of your mind?
It's tiring, dude. And those are like the main comments that I see on YouTube, on Twitter, X and stuff. It's just like, it's ridiculous because it's like, oh, he's making this video because he brought the money, and they put the money symbol, the money bag or whatever. Guys, like, my motivation for making videos is to connect with my audience and authentic and genuine. I don't think they are. I think they placate. I think they act like they're so inclusive.
They acolyte.
As soon as you say something that they don't like or agree with, they're going to try and strip you and rip you of Gamers, Ryan, where were the other Star Wars YouTubers? You guys didn't give a shit. I literally put out a tweet saying that anybody can join. I want this for the good of the kids. Y'all didn't join. Eckhard, freaking Star.
Oh, he's talking about the
Nobody. The only one.
The charity event thing they did.
Did you go ahead and do a charity of your own for kids? No. You just sit around and bitch and whine about, oh, Star Wars Theory is doing this.
And that charity thing had Gary and I think Jeremy.
Merch. You know that
I don't know if Ryan Kinnell was on that or not. I don't remember.
Just to feed
but
me
I think he was too.
Of the shit that you say about me. The amount of eyes that I have everywhere in groups that you think are private with people.
Okay, so he's laying into them now. I mean, we don't have to listen to all this.
And my experience over the last 8 years, and feel lighter. I feel great. I feel good about it. So
well, why would you care?
Hope you guys have a great day. And remember,
you're the biggest Star Wars channel in the world on YouTube,
like they do to me. But be the better person and just go about your day. So. Hope this gave you that little bit of entertainment that you wanted. It
did. Thanks, buddy.
So,
no, but I really do. I like the insight from behind the scenes and all that type of stuff. And this is just way too funny for words. Like and then they just keep reposting it underneath these shills that are getting mad. Oh man, I'll finish with this. It's at the end of the day, I rip into these shows too, but they're shows. They don't actually matter, right? Like, there's people going through real struggles and real problems and losing their homes and losing their jobs and struggling to pay their bills, struggling to afford groceries. There's people, and I'm not even talking about in other countries, I'm talking here in Canada, in the United States, there's people really struggling with life. And they have to work 2 jobs and they have to work their butts off. So to take time to go after people talking about movies and TV shows, like, just make your videos and, you know, cater to your audience, which is just all about everything they do is great. Fine, just do that. Why would you need to spend time going after the content creators of those videos that are criticizing it? Like, come on. Like, there's such other things you could be doing. Just focus on yourself. Focus on your own. Holy crap, does he have that many channels now? Jeez, that's a lot of channels. But, you know, focus on that stuff. On what you can do, right? That's, to me, the best way to go. I don't know why you would waste your time with anything else. Yeah, there's the photo of the... It's just... Anyways, guys, that's my take. This whole thing is so funny. I had to do a video on it today. I just had to. So there you go. If you like this content, please like, subscribe. It always helps the channel. I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment. This is a funny thing to discuss. And check out anything else on my channel if you're so inclined. And have yourselves a really good day.